storyline setting in for the Aflac Thunder Shootout is that the Rookie Shootout went through. The Rookie Shootout went fairly clean, as there was only one yellow for a 2-car spin that happened in the tri-oval. Nothing big happened. Tim Averill won the Rookie Shootout and was guaranteed the last spot in the Aflac Shootout after passing Casey Littinger coming off the final corner of the race. This race will have 36 cars entering this event. The most since the 2003 running of the event, which that race was a wild one. We'll hopefully see a good race for this one, as that one will be this one is a wide track with a lot of cars. So we're gonna see. This is pretty much a 40-lap preview on how the Dentsville 250 will run. And now I'm going to head it off to Kendall Johnson for the report. Thank you, Jerry. The Aflac Pole Award will go to car number 39 of Walter Green. Walter Green got the pole based on the draw, as the draw was randomly done the night before this event. He has Chandler Blake on his outside, and they are already and Blake is already starting to fall back in that number 15 Zaxby's Chevrolet. Zaxby's is not the primary sponsor of that car due to problems that they encountered with budget issues. XI Batteries returned to the sponsorship on that car. Meanwhile, Luke Warren in the 14 will go and take the lead away from the number 39 Walter Green, and it looks like he may hold on to the lead, but he has a challenge from Alan Kimmel, the 88. As Kimmel will try to get his way up to the lead, however, he does not get the run, and Luke Warren will lead the first lap. A couple of drivers that are not normally in other people's rides are in this race. Eric Wilbur, the 12, is one of them. He won the New York Auto Race last year after passing Mark McGill on the final lap. And then Tim Averill, the Rookie Shootout winner, as Jerry mentioned in the pre-race notes. Averill's running towards the back to avoid the big one that would normally happen on the super speedways, and surprisingly, it's not the best idea, but it would turn out to be the best idea. The first caution would come out on lap 4. Gordon Miller comes down on the 55, and he goes up in a huge crash in turn number 2. Several cars get up in the fence. Shane Norgan's flipping. Sean McDowell, Jonathan Winslow, Connor Staten in the 10 is stuck in the fence. We have several cars collected. Here's from Connor Staten's perspective. Jonathan, Biller get together. Biller gets up in the fence. McDowell goes up in the air. So a huge crash. Just 4 laps into this race, and it's not starting to look good. Let's take another look. We got Nick Dunnigan, Cameron Brooks, Shane Clark III is also in there. Let's see, Alan Kimmel is also in there. Here's on board from Thomas Lawyers. He does a nice job of avoiding that one. I see the 48 MJ Holloway's on his inside. And then here's the rear bumper of Gordon Billard. He gets started out on the 55, and he pops up, and he gets some air, flies around the air, and somehow the camera is surviving all that. I don't know how in the world that camera survived that. There's Sean McDowell comes up. Speaking of Sean McDowell, here's his camera, and the camera goes berserk, and then it finally cuts out here. We do not know the medical conditions of any of these drivers involved. Meanwhile, the race leader was the number 7 of Mike Hogan. Hogan in the 7 had a really good season last year running for Rookie there, and actually won the honors. That's how we got into the shootout. Ryan Pearson in 2nd, Mark McGill 3rd, and Mike Wilson in the 84th. However, all 3 of them would be passed by the 9 of Jamie Scott A. Scott A had a terrible 2011. However, the reason he got in was because of the pole at Charlotte, and Scotty will have help in the 48 MJ Holloway, who got that Indianapolis win that he should have had in 2009, but he got it in 2011. He gets help from Daniel Salomon, the Greensville winner. And then here's another camera angle. This one laying focus onto the action. Mike Hogan is actually, I believe, the first driver all weekend to lead a full green flag lap, even though it was coming out of the restart. They're already starting to fan out. Meanwhile, Casey Hutto in the 19, the black Red Bull Pontiac, he is also up there. Aaron Fisher's also up there, along with Tim Averill, Jared Webler, Cody White, and James Wilson Jr. on that inside line. Hogan is still the race leader, and he could lead a second consecutive. He could lead another lap here, but as you see, Aaron Fisher gets a good push. However, he gets bumped up by Tim Averill on the 34, and I'm not sure if Hogan will lead this lap. Well, he just leads that lap. However, he will lose the lead to Aaron Fisher and Tim Averill. However, Averill has the preferred line. Oh, wait a minute. Jared Webler's down there. I didn't see him come. And in the 11 of James Wilson Jr. gets up there with help from Eric Webler in the 12. Thomas Lawyer's in the back, and then the inaugural Densville winner, Shane Hart, is also with this group as well, as they all running towards the pack. The second caution would come out. It would appear that the 9-13 would get together, and this would put the 0-1 and the 11 go sideways. Tim Averill puts the 13 in the wall, and then Shane Howard just has nowhere to go. And then Walter Green comes flying through this mess and almost smashes into the back of the 11. Here's another angle. 13 gets into the 9, in which sends the 11 into the 0-1, and that sends the 11 and 0-1 around. Tim Averill makes contact with the 11, getting the 11 minor damage, and Walter Green goes flying through there. Here's from Jamie Scott A's perspective. Actually, Jared Lanthall's perspective, excuse me. The 9 pushes up into the 13, the 13 gets into the 11, and the 11 gets into the 0-1, and then the 13 gets pushed into the wall by Tim Averill. And then Shane Howard just has nowhere to go and hits the 13. Howard is not happy, and he just does that into the back of the 13. Car 03 was called to the hauler after the race. Daniel Salomon in the 99 was the race leader, with Brian Wilson second, Scott Johnson third, and then MJ Holloway in fourth, with Mike Wilson in fifth. Salomon had a terrible 2011. Other than that win at Greensville, he has had a really rough 2011. However, Salomon's starting his 2012 off with a great start with the great race that he's having right now. Scott Johnson, the 58, is right there. Mike Wilson in the 80 is right there. The number 48, MJ Holloway, he's starting to come up there in the 48 car. And Mike Wilson trying to put his Lakoya in the lead. And yes, that is a Lakoya, as Lakoya will be the official manufacturer for the 2012 South Carolina's Part-Timers Challenge event, as Mike Wilson will put the Lakoya in the lead. So Lakoya is finally getting some leading time here around this Densville Super Speedway, and they're 4 wide towards the back. As Ryan Pearson, they all get settled down immediately. It's Ryan Pearson, Cody White, Jared Webler, and Ryan Pearson all got through there. Here is Mike Wilson in the 80. As I mentioned, he is the only Lakoya in the field, as Lakoya only fields for the South Carolina Part-Timers Drivers Challenge. And then there goes Jared Webler, Aaron Fisher, and Mike Hogan. They all go flying through there, as Wilson will be put to the outside. Cody White is right there on his inside, and I believe he bounced off the wall right there. Cody White and Michael and Eric Webber will get through there. MJ Holloway and there you see Mark Yellow right there on his inside. As they're racing again. Whoa! Contact! As a near crash occurs, but both of them save it. Let's take a look from Shane Hart's perspective. Contact between the 22, 59, and 48. They get into the grass, while the 59 gets into the grass and drives back up. Here's from Cody White's perspective. He keeps it on the surface, and he continues on going. The 59 will fall off the draft. However, Cody White was involved in another accident. He gets into the 56 and causes another caution. Mike Wilson is collected. Scott Johnson, Thomas Lawyer, Daniel Salomon are collected into that. And then when Scott Johnson tries to back out, he almost gets sideswiped by his teammate and Walter Green. So Walter Green gets a trip to the hauler. Since I believe that's the second time that's happened. And there you see the 80 gets up into the 58, getting up to the 58, causing that wreck. As you hear the rear bumper cam, both the 59 and 39 would fly right through. Hart will only be receiving a warning since that was the first offense, while Green will get penalized. Will get a trip to the hauler because that's the second time he did, because he almost slammed into the back of James Wilson Jr. Jared Webber was the leader of the race, and speaking of James Wilson Jr., he's in second spot. However, he did not get a good restart, as Webber gets a really good restart, gets a really good gap over the leaders. However, Aaron Fisher gets a pretty good run off the back, as you're going to see that the Fisher is going to have help from the two of Ryan Pearson. and the 19 of Casey Hutto. Those three have been factors all night long. I see Ryan Pearson will ditch the 89 and will try to go for the lead for himself, but Casey Hutto thinks, well, if you're gonna ditch Fisher, I'm gonna ditch you. As well, Hutto didn't actually ditch him until now, when Pearson was trying to go for the lead, and I believe Pearson led that lap. The 19 has help from the 01, while there will be more draft push from the 56 and the 34. Tim Averill. He's the only rookie in the field, and his car is really good. Averill could make history as the first driver to win the Rookie Shootout and the Thunder Shootout the same year, but we do not know yet because of all this racing. Meanwhile, you're going to see, here's the inside look. They're going to go 4 wide, and that's for 4th. Meanwhile, we're going to go 3. We may go 3 wide for the lead as, whoa, near contact between the 48 and 90. Here's on board MJ Holloway in the 48. He will go and take the lead away from the 34 of Tim Averill. Averill, who I believe Averill's car, I'm not sure if that's the same car he used in the Rookie Shootout, but I believe that car is strong. As you see, that is the sight you would probably see if you're the race leader here in Dennisville. And that was taking you an example on where you would be if you were stuck behind this group and struggling on the outside. That is from Eric Weber's perspective on the Speed Energy Dodge. Speed Energy, this is only a one-race deal for this 12 cars. That's primary sponsors are Miller Lite and Mahindra Tractors. And you see on the flag stand the caution is out, and here's what it's for. It appears that the, I think that is the, Casey Hutto gets into the, I can't remember who, I didn't see it closely enough, but need a closer angle. Casey Hutto gets into Aaron Fisher gets into the 56, and the 56 gets into the 90. Very minimum damage to the front end, but however, there's a lot of damage in the rear end to the 90 of Brian Wilson. He was a contender, but looks like he'll be out of it. MJ Holloway will lead on this race over James Wilson Jr. in 2nd, James Wilson Jr. in 3rd, Tim Averill in 4th, and Eric Webler in 5th. This would be a 5-lap shootout, as there you see Jared Webler. He will go for the lead under the 48 of MJ Holloway, as Webler will go for the lead. And Webler has been out of the drivers that has qualified less than 7 events. Webler's been the most consistent. His worst finish of the year last year for Webler was 19th in his debut in Nashville. He's always been a race contender whenever he enters this race, and tonight's no doubt about it. He is a contender. He's going to try to hold off the rookie, Tim Averill, who's I believe been in contention for every race he's been in. He may even win this one if he had a shot to do so, and right now he's in a good shot to do so, running in the 2nd spot after starting last. Remember back in Dennisville, Shane Harden started last, he won the race. Averill started last, he may win this one. However, Averill will take it easy. Well, not now, because he'll jump to the inside. However, Holloway gets a good run, as it is a 2-1 advantage as they go down the other side of the backstretch. However, Averill has the preferred line going into turn 3 and 4. Holloway gets way high while Webler holds the middle as Averill gets on the line. Right there. There you see Shane Harden. Harden gets a good run down the backstretch. Harden, he wants to try to go 2 for 2 here at Dennisville. Right here, one in the car number 57 and one in his own car. As Kyrie Youthen is back, and this is going to be his own personal ride. He had Kyrie Youthen's pit crew and crew chief, but he has his own crew chief. This is later in the lap. He already passes Tim Averill and gets a good run to go and take the lead. So Shane Harden, he could be a contender. But there you see Jay Anori. He's going to make Shane Harden look like the pretender. That's going to be 2 laps to go this time. On the 0-1 of Anori, this is starting to get real good here, as Anori will get pushed into the lead. There you see a shot of the pace car and Brian Wilson struggling in the back of the field. Meanwhile, Jay Anori takes the lead away from the number 59, Shane Harden, as they're going to head down the backstretch. MJ Holloway go for the lead. Tim Averill finally gets his way back to the inside, and maybe Averill will probably go for the lead. Here comes Averill. Averill makes a risky move for the lead. He'll find a way to get to the inside, get to the lead, and here they come. They're going to take the white flag this time by. Can Averill be the first ever rookie to win the Rookie Shootout and the Thunder Shootout? He's just got a cup. He's just got about 2.58 miles away. Well, James Wilson Jr. had the run, but Ryan Pearson opens the door. Here comes Pearson, as I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Wilson gets a run down the backstretch. Is that run enough to dethrone Averill? Down the backstretch for the final time into turn 3. Pearson gets the run, but does not. But the 11 could not block. The 2 tries to come up, but gets pushed down the line by Aaron Fisher. And out of 4, Tim Averill won the Rookie Shootout, and now he will win the Aflac Thunder Shootout. Tim Averill is only the 2nd rookie to win the Thunder Shootout, last rookie being Michael Scott in 2002, and he's also the first ever driver to win the Rookie Shootout and the Thunder Shootout in the same year.